Welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen, of Solly's Vlog. Right now, we're talking about my online radio series, also part of the New 52 Mix Show. New 52 Mix Show is kind of all about daily content, creating something for multiple listeners, because number one, I'm a DJ, so not everybody is into the same type of music. So I kind of like to dabble with content just to kind of see what people like. So we have the personal mix show series that I do. Now we do the online radio. So I've already talked about a couple of episodes, and we're going to switch things back to Flash 107.6, and we're going to talk about Old School Hour. Old School Hour comes out on Thursdays. So my idea behind Old School Hour, which was started in 2019, it's my third show at the time on Flash 107.6. The reason why I wanted to do it on Thursdays, it made me think a little bit about Throwback Thursday. Most of you probably remember in like the early 2000s or late 2010s going out to the club, and they have sometimes they have Retro Rewind, which would be either on a Wednesday or either a Thursday, just depending on the venue. I kind of thought about that a little bit. Old School Hour is similar to Old School Monday, but it's completely different. I focus a little bit more on R&B side of things with the station, but a lot of it's just samples. A lot of hip hop from the 90s and a lot of hip hop from now. A lot of it's samples from older R&B. So kind of the premise of the show, I'll play certain hip hop tracks and I'll play the actual original version of it. That's kind of how I do the show. So if you're a big hip hop fan like I am and have been for several decades, you'll recognize the samples and you'll recognize the other stuff too. And I just thought it would be a really fun show to get older listeners into the station. Old School Mondays has always been a really good hit. Cutoff Jams obviously is current with hip hop and R&B, but Old School Hour focuses a little bit more on the R&B side of things. So there's Luther Vandross or George Benson or things by Michael Jackson, things by Chaka Khan that have been sampled in hip hop. And of course, even James Brown, if you think about it, there's a lot of different samples from different artists from the 70s and 80s. And so a lot of it's just music that I know that I grew up listening to in conjunction with a lot of the hip hop and R&B I grew up listening to from like the 90s. So with Old School Hour, I wanted to create something that was definitely something that people could totally dig and kind of really enjoy a little bit more. Just because it identifies with an older listener, somebody who's probably in their 40s or late 40s or early 50s, it's suited more for a different demographic that might not be into newer music. But Old School Hour comes out every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Flash 107.6 FM, and it's something you definitely should check out because also it's definitely a vibe. It just reminds me of a lot of the old school stuff I used to listen to as a kid back in the day, and that's kind of how I wanted to do the show. But you definitely should check it out. That's going to do it for this episode of Solly's Vlog. Make sure you click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.